My name is James D. Schultz, and I was a torpedoman second class by the time I got out. And then we went over the Mediterranean on a cruise, and some of the other guys probably told you all about it. Went to a lot of different ports, but Athens, Greece, we were able to get right in the harbor there because we didn't have a very deep draft. It was only 18 feet of water below the hull line there, so I mean below the I don't know, the depth of the ship, so we could get into these shallow harbors. In Athens, we were able to get right into the port, and of course we did all the touring there, the Parthenon, and all the attractions there that were really interesting for a 22-year-old kid at that point. And a lot of camaraderie with your shipmates. And, but it was hard. I mean, I had just gotten married in June of '68, so it's 50 years this year. And we were on our honeymoon 2 weeks, and then I went to the Mediterranean for 6 months. So it was difficult. There was no, and it took a letter a month to get anywhere if you got mail at all. There was no internet. I mean, there was no computers. You couldn't dial up and see it. So it was a lot of separation. And a lot of times my wife didn't know where we were at. You're not supposed to tell her where you're at. So it was tough times. It was. So I look at the military guys today, and in some ways they have, like I say, they can Skype with their wife and families and see them, but we didn't have that luxury. We had another one of those uncontrolled dives over there in the Mediterranean this time, and same kind of deal. I was on the bow planes again, and full rise, supposed to stay at 55. We're still going down, and there was 8,000 feet of water under us. I mean, it was deep in the Mediterranean. So we really didn't want to go down too deep. I think we went down to about 400 feet before we were able to turn it around and come back up. Another one of those come to Jesus moments. The only other thing that I mean, I'm sure some of the other guys tell you all about the different ports we went to and experienced different things. And one unusual experience was we were on the surface operating with another aircraft carrier was out there and a number of destroyers. And we were playing war games out there, and we were kind of a target. So I was, when you're on the surface, if you're not running the bow planes underwater, you're a lookout way up at the top of the sail. So you got your binoculars and you're looking around the horizon, and all of a sudden, we never even saw them come. I don't know whether our radar was not working or what, but there was no warning. 2 F-4 Phantoms from this aircraft, it's a U.S. aircraft carrier, buzzed us. You don't hear them until they're past you. At that point, you already know you're sunk. But it was an eye-opener. The roar was deafening, and that was another one of those moments where you said, I think we lost this battle. So it was a diesel submarine. And the nuclear submarines were really coming into their prime at that point, and they were extremely fast. They could go extremely deep, and they were the first line of defense. Diesel submarines were they were slow, but a lot quieter than some of the nukes. They were slow, but they were kind of phasing out at the time, and in fact the Bang was gone from the US Navy in 1972. So our duties really were serve as a target sometimes, but when I say target, the game, it wasn't like, let's just sit there. You did what you could to evade. I mean, it was war games, so we did everything we could to evade the other ships. When we went to the Mediterranean, we did engage some Russian submarines. And we followed them around for a while, and trying to get their sonar tracks. We were so slow, I mean, they could just dust us off whenever they wanted because they were pretty fast. And, underwater we only did about 6 knots. but the nukes they're doing 25, 30, so they could leave us pretty quick. But those are the types of things we did. A lot of engagement with other branches too, the Air Force, and in some cases the Canadians too. But then it was a long trip back from the Mediterranean. We pulled into port. It turns out I was discharged. This was November of '68.